Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Cissy Boys podcast.
Boom.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen, and non-binaries.
And non-binaries.
And the 1% that's marked as other on the Anchor podcast app, thank you so much. 72% of the United States, 8% of Canada, 55% of women between the ages of 28 to 34. We send our love. Everything we have for you. Comments on the video, very nice. Thank you.
We love those metrics.
Yeah.
All
also, we need some people to really hate us.
It's been surprising. I thought once we went to video, we would get a lot of comments on everything, but I don't know. I think we're doing video right.
It's like, did you guys not hear anything Cooper said?
Yeah.
There's a lot to hate.
I mean, it wasn't like chill. You know? I mean, it wasn't mean, but it wasn't chill.
This is a Pete Davidson in the making, okay?
It's true.
Start nagging him at a young age before his confidence is like unsquishable. Unsquashable?
If I could grow like 7 inches, I wouldn't even need to be on this podcast.
Wait, did you just use unsquishable and unsquashable as those are colloquialisms? Neither of those are
neither of those actual words?
Unsquishable?
No, yeah.
I'm not that I've heard.
No, yeah, not even close.
Have I told you that English is my second language? When I moved to America as a 17-year-old, I tested my English tested at a 7th grade level.
What is your first language?
I mean, English is like my dominant language, but technically, like Indonesian was my first language.
Can you still speak it fluently, or have you just let it go?
Bisa bicara bahasa.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, I can. I would not say fluent, but I went to Portland recently, and there was an Indonesian restaurant, and I talked to the servers in Indonesian. It was fun.
Can you do the one more time? Speak Indonesian. What did you just say?
Oh, I said bisa bicara bahasa.
Even your Indonesian is sassy.
Oh yeah, I'm a bitch.
Yeah, it's cool that the accent doesn't go away.
No.
It just stays.
Yeah. Oh, it's an easy language. You guys can pick it up.
It's an easy language?
Yeah, it was made in 1950-ish.
Really?
Yeah.
Who made it? Like the Indonesian, like who makes the language?
It wasn't me. Indonesia was a Dutch colony, and after World War II, when they got their independence, which they're really proud of because they were fighting the Dutch who had firearms, and Indonesians beat them using guerrilla warfare with sharpened bamboo sticks.
Cool.
And firearms are illegal in Indonesia, so I didn't grow up around any guns. And when I see a gun, it freaks me out.
How many guns are you seeing?
I went to, on my drive from Chicago to LA, I went to college in Chicago. I stopped in Arizona to see a friend, and I was at a coffee shop, and a man walked into the coffee shop with like a pistol on his pot. And just that feeling when you're like, am I in a reality show? Like my stomach sank, and I was like, I'm going to die.
Now, I think I know the answer to this, but so you've never held a gun, never shot a gun.
I did one time in Kansas City.
Wow. And you were scared.
No, that was fun,
You
but it
just
was a
held it?
controlled setting.
Okay.
I was like in a very rich friend's yard, and we were shooting those like frisbees that they throw in the air.
Servants. You were shooting servants as they ran by.
That sounds like a person, but yeah.
I like how you still called it a yard when it's like, this is an estate.
Yeah.
Obviously, this isn't a yard.
Yeah, their dad owned some brand of ice cream called like Whitey's.
Really?
Wow.
Yeah.
And that
It's okay though. They were evangelical Christians.
Oh, no.
okay.
So they're cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
They're nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Whitey family who shoot shit in their backyard.
The college I went to is like 99% white. It's the #1 evangelical college like in America. It's where like Billy Graham
What
went.
state was it in?
Chicago.
Oh, Chicago.
That's Illinois is the state.
Yeah.
Just like Africa is a country. But yeah, Chicago is the city, and Wheaton College.
That's so funny.
But everyone was fucking rich.
Oh, of course.
And when I left, I was like, oh, none of you guys are like Jesus would not like any of you.
The people down in Texas, like it's a lot of evangelicals in Texas, right? That's also the denomination. Like the guy who didn't let people into his church during Hurricane Katrina. That guy
was probably,
I don't think so.
I mean, he's just like
not
a super
evangelical?
church guy, so I don't know.
Joel Osteen.
Yeah.
Oh,
He might
did
just
he not
be,
let people in his church during?
That was the
No.
big story. I don't know if it was just like over publicized or whatever, but it's like, yeah, he kept the shop closed.
Right.
Also, let's be clear, it was not a church. It was a stadium.
His stadium. Yeah.
It It was like the former Houston Rockets Stadium. And he
Oh,
was like,
really?
yeah.
That's so sick. Dude, you must feel like such a baller buying that stadium for Jesus.
Oh, it's insane. Those guys have so much money.
Yeah, sorry, NBA. God's coming through.
Yeah.
That must feel so sick, dude.
Yeah. I mean, I assume the Houston Rockets upgraded, but boy, would it be funny if they did not. If Joel was like, man, people love God more than they do fucking,
Dude, he
Harding.
has the stickum near the floor and he's just putting his shoes in before going up there and just praying so hard.
That would be funny if they were like allowed to like keep the t-shirt guns and like the like the shit you hit when people are making like 3-point or free throw shots, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Those things. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Do you know what Joel Osteen looks like?
Yeah, he looks like Strider Kelly.
Yeah, exactly. I was in a video with them where I Strider baptized me pretending to be
so sick.
Those guys are so funny.
Yeah.
But he looks insane. Like
Oh, really?
His eyes. I mean, it looks like he definitely takes advantage of children.
Well,
I don't know about that.
One of those other dudes
Can't the not letting people in the stadium be bad enough?
Joel Osteen is the Drake of evangelical pastors.
Listen, I don't like him either. I don't know if we need
the
to
podcast should just be called Drake.
I don't know if we need to throw definitely in the mix. No, the other guy looks more evil. The guy that bought the plane from Tyler Perry. And when they asked him about it, they were like, don't you think it's kind of like fucked up that you're spending church money on a plane? And then he goes, but the Tyler made the plane so cheap, I couldn't not buy it.
That's
Who
awesome.
said this? Who said this?
I forget his name.
He's a pastor?
Yeah, he's like Joel Osteen. He's like a stadium pastor, and that's his thing.
I should know these like the back of my hand. Tyler Perry's gay, for the record.
Is it what?
He's a fucking drag queen. Medea?
Yeah, but is he...
I've heard this theory before.
Tyler Perry is for sure gay. Oprah's
Are all
a
drag
lesbian.
queens gay?
There's controversy because on the new episode of Drag Race, they have the first straight cis male on the show.
Oh,
did I say
wow.
cis? Almost everyone on that show is cis.
Yeah, most drag
We're
queens are cis.
Yeah. For some reason, in my head,
boys.
cis meant straight, but it doesn't. But yeah, there's a drag queen on the show named Maddie Morphosis, and it's a straight dude.
But that's
and so
like,
all of them are like, "Yes, queen, slay," and then he's like, "Sup?"
Hey, thanks. It's just me. Thank you.
is he like a dude though? Is he like a what's up fucker? Like when
No,
he's not
just
in
like
the
a
wig?
pretty mildly mannered guy.
Yeah.
He's not ultra feminine or ultra masculine. He's pretty and he seems like a really cool person. And people gay people got outraged. They're like, how dare a straight guy take this? And I'm like, do you guys realize Kid Rock still exists? There's other people to be more upset with.
He's on the next season of Drag.
Right, but it's oh wow, straight people are starting to wear makeup and wear dresses. Are you mad at that? Isn't that a good thing?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But they're he's taking one of our seats. And I'm like, I don't know. The forefathers were doing drag way before us.
And there's other issues.
The founding fathers.
Yeah. And there's a lot of other issues, especially with a bunch of white people just stealing AAV all the time in drag. You know what I mean? It's it's not the first taking of seats when it comes to drag.
I just personally think that that straight guy who does drag is probably one of the sicker dudes of all time.
He's probably sick.
I think it's really cool that he does that, and he has a girlfriend, and what he does on the weekends is get in paints his face and gets in a dress and lip syncs. That's damn, how cool. Your sexuality does not determine the things that you enjoy doing.
Totally.
Oh, this kind of so I had an interesting conversation with someone about Owen Gray, who I didn't know who that was. Do you guys know who that is? Owen Gray is a very famous porn star that famously women like a lot.
Oh, is he the guy with the wild tattoos?
Yes.
Yeah, I don't even watch his videos because they scare me.
Is he a straight dude?
He's a straight dude. He's a straight dude, but so this is going to be a long intro into something that does kind of dovetail into what we're talking about, but I listened to an interview with him, and it was really interesting, and I watched some of his videos, which are really good. I can see why people like him and why
he lays it down.
He lays it all the way down.
He scares me.
Dude,
in interviews or just in porn?
Just in porn. In interviews, he is so mild-mannered. Yeah. That's the thing about him, is he is
sense.
He's like any guy you could talk to in the Midwest at a gas station. He's like, I like your dog. That's what he sounds like. But he's just absolutely...
I like your dog.
Dude, he's just absolutely... He's the most passionate man of all time.
Yeah.
He's 100% passion.
If you want to see a lady come in porn, that guy is like, those orgasms are real.
But
Like,
it's awesome. But so he did a scene with a woman and I believe trans woman, and I was like, oh, that's cool. Like, but then all the comments were like, why didn't he suck the dick? Every single comment was like he didn't do enough, and I was like, can we make some progress?
I don't really understand what like enough is, because it's not like any kind of sex you have necessarily makes you an ally. You know what I mean? It's
exactly.
It's a general way of thinking and supporting and doing what you can, but it's not like, I'm doing all I can. I'm banging trans people every day.
Right,
like that's not keeping people alive and safe.
Anyone who
That's
has
just-
progressive values, though, like it's never going to be enough. Like, do you know that there's a large portion of the gay community that hates RuPaul because RuPaul,
I've heard this, yeah.
RuPaul Fracks.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, so does every fucking rich person.
Well-
like, why aren't you up like Bloomberg's ass?
I don't know if every rich person fracks.
Yeah, we all
Are
be
you
fracking.
saying that if you got rich, you would start fracking?
Hell yeah. And also, I'm like, RuPaul should frack. Like, get in the game.
Okay,
we
wait.
don't have any gay representation in the fracking game.
Let's slow down. So
The
RuPaul
wildest response.
RuPaul is not out there.
I love that RuPaul fracks.
Okay.
RuPaul is not out there doing the fracking. RuPaul is not like they there's no shovel involved.
Yeah, I don't think RuPaul has like a grade A level drill that's fracking.
And I'll say this, I don't care how much damage it does to the environment. I would pay so much to see how in the moment and beautifully performative RuPaul's fracking would be.
Do you think like she was at like the ribbon cutting ceremony for her like fracking site and she was like, yeah, like slay
In the sickest outfit you've ever seen.
But also,
Sorry,
I'm
I
just
said
like,
she.
if there's going to be like these evil rich people, there should be like some openly gay evil rich people.
You want more representation?
Yes,
and
it's the
evilness?
same thing
I
that I
like this.
preach where like there should be an open gay shooter, like mass shooter. Like we need like
Right.
It's bad if we just think that like straight white dudes do that
Yeah.
shit.
So
like
you're
at
the
least
one-
there's a voice in there, you know?
You're the one that's
like RuPaul loves trans people. At least he can be a super rich fracking gay dude who loves trans people.
I don't think any of like the work that allies and queer people are doing is leading to fracking.
You're not thinking 10 steps ahead, Cooper.
Is that what it?
No,
You're
you're
not-
like
Am I not money minded?
Here's the $1 million money mindset, okay?
Yeah.
Think about the fracking community, right?
Right.
You probably have a lot of people that aren't progressive, aren't forward thinking, right?
Probably.
RuPaul moves into that space, guns blazing,
Yeah.
looking great.
5-time Emmy winner.
Five-time
RuPaul.
Emmy winner, tons of talent. Those guys don't know how to handle themselves. They're scared. You know what they do? Close shop out of fear.
I'm
No
just
more
ima-
fracking,
he's like-
except RuPaul.
But he's like, yeah, we be fracking, but we also be supporting gay rights.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm
As
just-
opposed to we be fracking, period.
I'm just imagining like a young queer kid that's like, I just hope one day I'm able to live in a place surrounded by love where I'm just able to frack like everyone else.
That's me,
Where I'm
dude.
just able to
That's
blow.
literally
That's
Matt.
water.
me. I want to be fucking rich and I want to do evil shit.
You don't want
I
to.
want to do bad things.
That's wild.
No, it's good.
Yeah,
There's
but
a
you
lot
can-
of people who are doing bad things and no one like talks about it. But as soon as a gay person does bad things, then it's really bad.
But
I mean, that's true. Yeah, definitely. Like,
Yeah.
obviously, you're
And
going
it's
to
this-
get more attention.
This idea
Yeah.
where it's like, well, we need to hold our community to a higher standard. It's like, why don't you let our community do what the fuck they want to do because it's the first time they're able to do shit?
Okay.
And
I think it's definitely true that it's not like every single oppressed person who gains any power has to be perfect and amazing. Like, that's a bad standard to
It's
hold people to.
horrible.
But also, I don't think fracking is like the best example of being you and like being honest.
it's an
like
extreme example, but I'm making a point.
Like if
just like
okay.
it is an extreme example, but like every trans person doesn't have to be Laverne Cox. They don't have to spend their whole life fighting for
I'm
trans
not
rights.
saying RuPaul has to be an amazing person. I'm just saying maybe Ru doesn't need to be fracking. Like, okay, if RuPaul goes to a bar,
I respectfully
and,
disagree.
at
this
and
point
Ru
in time,
gets
I
drunk as
respectfully
a-
disagree.
I understand. Yeah, no, I understand that.
Okay,
I mean,
go ahead. RuPaul
maybe
goes to a gay bar.
I'm just saying if RuPaul goes to a bar and they get drunk as fuck and they're like on TMZ acting crazy, yeah, we shouldn't be like, how dare they as a part of the queer community get drunk? But also like if RuPaul is fracking, I think we're allowed to be like, that's crazy. It's also, I also think people
funny.
bring it up because it's absolutely hilarious. It's absolutely hilarious.
Funny that you host a drag show and you're fracking.
Yeah. It's wild.
We should have a fracking challenge.
Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
But I mean, that is like the other side of like somebody like RuPaul is like a tenacious person of like, I'm going to be me. I'm going to form a life for myself. I'm going to make money. And that is all on this beautiful course of like starting Drag Race, like giving opportunities to all these people. But that same mindset does lead you to fracking. Like that same of like, I'm going to build myself up. The moment somebody comes and there's a lot of land in Texas you could take advantage of, they're like, yes!
It's the $1 million money mindset.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it is, that does scare me. The money mindset never stops. Like, it's like, let's start the show. Let's get drag in the public eye. But it is the same thing that's like, yeah, I mean, we need to tear down these families' houses so we can blow water into the earth.
That's kind of where it's like, it shouldn't be connected to like any community. Like, how could you as this community do this? But I mean, and I don't know a lot about fracking, to be honest with you.
I don't know.
I assume it's pretty bad. It seems pretty bad.
It's a very invasive process.
Seems invasive.
Yeah,
I've seen videos of people whose like the water table in their town gets completely destroyed or whatever.
Right.
But it's like, I mean, it shouldn't be connected to that, but it also be like, oh yeah, this in general is not great. But I mean, I don't think that you should take anything on the, and I do kind of get what Matt says, where it's like, it's bad if anybody does this, but there are a couple of minute points that maybe it's because it's funny, but I am kind of like, this is a little less bad.
Yeah. No, I get it.
It is a similar also, sorry, unprofessional, but the record button isn't red on there. Is that a problem?
No, not really.
Okay, never mind.
I'll press it.
But
oh wait, let me try to press it.
Oh yeah, I just told a joke.
That's the reaction when we hear about
it's a
RuPaul
similar
fracking.
thing to, I think it's a similar like ideology around the song WAP. Because like when WAP came out, people were like, wow, this is women completely degrading themselves. And it's like, no, it's actually, it's just let me finish one second, and then you pop in. But it's the argument behind it is like, men have been acting like trash for so long. So let's let women act like absolute trash to even the playing fields.
Yeah,
it's like straight people, I keep saying cis instead of gay. Straight people have been acting like have been fracking. So let's let a gay frack.
Okay.
It's like, let's even the bad.
But you're equating an argument that's completely stupid on both ends with the WAP thing, because it's like, WAP doesn't hurt anyone.
Yeah, it's also like fracking is not like a human right.
Well, if you're like really whopping,
but it's
like if a dick can't even get in there, like it's so wop.
But it might hurt some women's feelings who maybe don't,
maybe they have like maybe it's too wet.
Yeah. It's like to write a fun song,
or maybe they're incapable of getting wet, and
that's
so
what I'm saying. That hurts your feelings.
Shout out to people who are unable to wop.
Yeah, but even if you throw lube on it, you make it a wop. You know what I mean? But it's like, I don't know. I'm just saying, like, to write a messy song and to like talk about like fucking a lot. In some ways, that's like people are entitled to that. But then when it comes to fracking, it's not like that's like. We've been shunned from the fracking community for
I mean, speak for yourself.
I agree with you, but it's just fracking. Like, fracking is the one thing that, like, it's the funniest thing.
It's an extremely bad example.
Dude, just
it's
wait.
I think it's very good.
I agree with the point. But fracking is too
just
funny.
Wait for Matt to start making money off this podcast. We're gonna come to there's gonna be an oil rig like inside of his apartment.
My apartment is like a sex trafficking organization. And I'm like, there are no out gay sex traffickers.
Yeah. Matt's literally
breaking into the industry.
Matt's like, I am the first openly gay private prison owner.
What if we were sex trafficking who were pro gay rights?
Right.
That is kind of what you're saying.
Yeah. It's sex
really
traffic
bad.
Men. Like
it's really bad, and it's kind of funny.
Okay, but let me go back to what I'm saying, which is very important, which is Owen Gray and the fact that neither of you guys have seen his work.
I watch a lot of straight porn.
You should
but is he like kind of a skinny, tatted dude?
He's not that skinny. He's kind of built.
He's not hairy though.
I hate to say it, a little bit like me in a way when you think about it.
I think he's kind of skinnier than you.
He's a little skinnier.
He's like taller and like more like toned.
But this man cares about women, dude.
He does.
I don't know if you've seen the videos. This guy cares. And he's going the extra mile, and he's putting in every ounce of effort. But people are kind of freaking out about it because he's like literally putting in. He's not treating women like steak. That's really what he's doing.
How do you mean?
The sex he's having is like relatively norm. Like he's not doing anything crazy.
No, he gets like a little rough and tumble, but that's
That's
on
so
the
he's
regs.
gentle.
No. He gets a little rough, but in a way where it's like I'm in the moment.
Yeah, he's the perfect example of like if a lady's like, I want to get fucked, but also feel safe and appreciated. You go to Owen Gray.
I feel like that's what everyone wants. That's what everyone wants.
No, that's what everyone wants.
Some people want just a little gentle something.
Yeah.
Really?
He's a good,
yeah.
But he's a good example of like all these like weird like rapist dudes are like, you can't do anything more in sex. It's like, go look at Owen Gray. Because he is laying it the fuck down.
But he's just making them feel appreciated.
He's
bar
like,
after bar.
Every single thumbnail I see of him is just a lady like, gross orgasm face.
Horrendous.
Like, nobody's acting.
There's no ounce of fake in that face.
Like when the camera turns off, they must be like, fuck.
They're looking at the camera like, I made that face?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Yeah. They're like, you fucked me so hard I became ugly.
Do you think so?
No, I mean, not to that extent, but it's like... I'm
thinking
wild.
about, like, so, I know quite a few people who are in the adult entertainment industry. Most of them, I don't know any straight adult entertainment people, but I know multiple gay adult
Maybe
entertainment
that's an
people.
issue.
And I love how I'm, like, so politically correctly not saying porn. But anyways, I was talking to a guy who like got pounded out by this like porn star who has like a massive dong, and like in the video it looks like he's like getting like, you know, like all of his like internal memories destroyed. And he talked to me and he was like it was kind of like normal sex, but like
you're acting. Yeah.
You're
of
acting.
Of course.
So like the guy's like, oh, you know, like,
listen, me and Cooper are being hyperbolic on a podcast here.
I was just at okay.
Not totally. Here's
Not
the thing.
totally.
I think the thing with Owen Gray is like he has a nice piece on him. But the thing about Owen Gray is like it's not really the dick that's like getting the reaction. Like he has like stroke game. Like he knows how to like fuck slow, you know what I mean? And like build tension with his cock, you know what I mean? Like cuz like some of these guys they got big cocks and they're like pound pound pound, but Owen Gray is like going in slow, like leaving his dick in, like soaking, and the people just being like, what is next? You know what he fucks like? He fucks like modern Korean drama. He fucks like Parasite, Squid Game, like these wonderfully written and directed shows where you're like, what is gonna happen
There's a
next?
There's a build to
Yeah,
it.
it's like I'm excited.
It's like it doesn't match with our culture.
Yeah.
That's why you added the Korean element where it's like this is different and really good, but there's something about it that isn't like Western culture where you're just pounding the pussy with no empathy.
Right, dude.
Yeah, he doesn't fuck like a capitalist. Like,
dude, I watch it like I listen to Rap Battle. I'm like, how did he come up with this?
Yeah,
like,
literally.
Whoa!
Yeah, he really, and he just filmed shit in his apartment.
I want to watch it
Yeah.
now, not even sexually. I'm just like curious.
We'll watch it as a crew.
Yeah, I also want you guys to watch Drag Race.
What, you don't like
and
that
just film
idea?
your reactions.
I like as a crew.
We'll get the crew together.
I mean, it honestly would be fun if we just watched his porn and just sort of commented on like his absolute prowess.
I'm taking notes.
I think the reason I don't watch it is because like his tattoos are so distracting.
Oh, I like them.
There's a lot of going on. I don't know. I haven't watched like a lot of video porn in a while.
What do you mean?
I've just
audio.
I feel like such a freak for this, but I just started going on Reddit and just looking at all these independent filmmakers, and it's just people in their homes that are just hot, you know, men and women.
But it's still video. It's still
sometimes
video.
Yeah.
Wait, but just pictures?
Sometimes just
photos.
pics. Yeah.
I
Just,
like that.
Just people that have like, you know, nice cocks and tits and they just take pics. Most of the time their Reddit pages are trying to get you to an OnlyFans.
Sure.
But it's kind of interesting when people are just like, a lot of the dudes mostly are just like, this a year and a half ago, they were like, here's my cock.
Yeah.
Because fellas like
and
showing
the world,
off.
And the world abided.
Yeah, my favorite thing about the Reddit porn is it's like the most fake caption shit in the world. Like mostly like women do it. Like beautiful women will like post pictures of themselves and they'll be like, "I hope more than 5 people like this."
Oh my
God!
God.
And then they'll just be like, "Do you like my tits?" And it's like, "You're gorgeous."
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's like it's so. And one of my favorite things to do is when I'm flicking through the pictures is like they'll say stuff like, if you were in a room with me for a day, what would you do? And I'll say to myself quietly, just to make myself laugh, I go, oh, I'd have sex with you. And then I keep scrolling, and it's like, I hope more than 5 people like this. And I go, oh, I'm sure they will.
I'll be one of them.
Yeah, you
I'll
don't
be
even
one
need
of
to
the
worry
5.
about. Yeah, and it's like, do you like my tits? I'm like, yeah, totally. They look great. Yeah,
reminds me of my like favorite like gay thirst trap. I mean, they're not actually. They're the funniest images to me, where it's like a gay guy and he'll post a picture of himself like shirtless after working out, and the caption will be like, thinking about all the women who aren't paid an equal wage.
Oh, that's very
it's like
funny.
clearly him looking for less.
Yeah.
God, thinking about how some children aren't able to eat 3 meals a day.
Yeah.
It's just a picture of his ass.
His beautiful body.
I love the confidence of some of these Reddit people. I found out one thing that I'm into that I think is sick is when a person has a tight dress on and then they just pull out a huge cock.
Oh yeah.
And
You're
I don't know.
into that.
I saw it and I was like, there's a awesome energy to it. You know what I mean? It's like fucking Sunset Strip in the 80s.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
dude.
It's like a shiny dress and it's like, and then the caption is always just something funny. It's like, you like my cock in this dress? And I'm just in my room. I'm like, I do. Like, I think that's cool.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? It's like, because there's a lot of confidence in it of like, what is more of like a fuck yeah thing than like, beautiful dress, huge cock. You know,
Right.
like those
it covers all of your bases.
Oh, it covers all the bases.
Everyone, you love fashion.
I love fashion.
You love a nice car.
And I love a nice looking penis. You know what I mean? And a lot of confidence. Some people, like we've talked about, some penises look gross, and some people are really throwing out some dog shit dick on Reddit, and I'm there for it too. You know what I mean? I'm not coming to it, but I see it.
The cat made a noise when you said dog shit dick.
Yeah. Well, because the cat's throwing D around too.
It's true.
Speaking of cats.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So I might have kind of mentioned on the last podcast, but a couple of weeks ago, I got a knock on my door that woke me up, and both of my roommates were standing outside, one of which has a cat. I opened the door. They're both crying, and she looks at me. She goes, Brad's going to die today. Mm-hmm. Our cat is named Brad Pitt, his full name. She goes, Brad's going to die today. And I'm like, fuck, you know, like what's going on? Anyway, over the course of 3 days, they're like, we took him to the vet. Her boss is going to pay for a drug transfusion. Now we're at 50-50. 3 days later, Brad is going to live.
Brad's alive.
And you got to understand, this is a roller coaster of emotion because they took it to the vet. And the vet was like, if a cat's blood oxygen level is below 18%, it's very, very lethal.
Didn't you say 8%?
18.
Okay.
This cat's blood oxygen level is right now at 8%. The vet said, it's insane. He's 10% under. And the vet said to my roommate, this cat should be dead. And we have joked all the time about like, this is a strong ass cat.
Let's
like,
go, dude.
That's crazy. This is an absolute, people are going to hate that so much.
No, he likes it.
This is an absolute unit. And the fact that he has survived death has been so funny because I was worried about him because he's my little boy too. But like the other day, he walked out of my roommate's room and was like, "Mah!" and then was running around, and I was like, he's alive and well.
Wow. How old is Brad?
He's 50 in cat years, so he's about,
oh my God.
8. What do you mean, oh my God? Why are you being like this?
What are cat years?
Who knows?
Dog years is 7.
I think it's close to 7.
I think cat would be 6.
Probably
they
6.
live longer.
Yeah. But he's totally fine. And it's...
So he's like 8 or 9.
Dude, it's so good to have an apartment cat. Just a cat that's kind of everybody's.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with that.
He's on his Schrodinger's cat shit. Like
that stuff makes me
dead.
understand polyamory.
Oh, like how we could all love him equally.
Everybody loves the cat equally.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Honestly,
it sounds
though,
great in theory, but it's just not realistic.
I have had some issues where I think I'm Brad's least favorite.
Yeah,
and it has hurt me at points.
Do you give Brad a lot of attention?
I try to, but I'm not home a lot. And like
well, I feel like whoever gives him the least amount of attention is going to get the most amount of love. That's how cats operate.
No, that's not true. That's not true because he's a Russian blue, and and Russian blues, they love affection. And so Brad has like melded to my roommate Sam because he was home a lot for a while. But like I'll come home, like Sam can go up to Brad and like pet him whenever he wants. I literally will go up to Brad and be like, "Hey," and try and pet his head, and he'll go like. and I am so petty and unevolved that when he does that, I'll be like, "Well, fuck you then." Like right. I take a cat's actions personally quite often.
Yeah, their brains are like this big.
Yeah, I know, it's crazy.
It's
and I'll literally be like, I'll literally be offended that he's like not reciprocating the love I give him.
But it's probably because like Sam has like smothered him, and so he like finally needs a break. And then you get home, and you're like, "I'm here to love you," and the cat's like, "I need to chill."
Sam's also
you have to take in like the other elements in the house.
like Sam.
That's the problem with polyamory.
Seeing how he deals with Brad makes me think that Sam's probably good at fucking because he's been
Interesting.
like Brad really likes that spot. Would be like you pet him
Sam's
on
done
that
heroin.
spot.
Of course, he's good at fucking.
You
is that a
That's
one-to-one?
literally the only thing you say when I bring up Sam. You're like,
Well-
he did heroin. I just want everyone watching to know this guy they don't know did. There's more to him than
I know
his addiction.
Sam is funny. I really
He's
think Sam is very funny.
Clean now and a very nice guy. But
I know he's clean, but also I'm like, I don't know. For me, like, I whatever. I dated a guy who did heroin for a while, and it just for some reason, heroin is like so sexy to me.
I mean, it's
It's like waste. Like coke is not a sexy drug. Meth is like not a.
I think it's
sexy
like
drug.
marketed as a sexy drug.
But heroin,
Just
it's
go-
like model heroin chic.
Rock
like
and
it's just
roll.
like
Yeah.
oh, you're like because heroin slows you down.
You know what I think you need?
Yeah.
A trip to Cape Cod, Massachusetts.
Yeah, you got to see
I
the,
think
the
you need
real
to-
heroin.
you need
people
to
there
see-
do heroin.
Oh, like
Dude.
crazy.
Come on. Dude, you should have seen
Why
my
do I think of Cape Cod as being like this uppity,
'Cause there
wearing
are-
polos and boat shoes?
There's some of that, but it's like
That's like the 1%.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
wealth disparity exists.
Right.
What do you
Okay.
mean?
So then the bottom of it is like Goodwill Hunting on heroin.
Yeah, you should go watch my brother in an apartment with no natural sunlight watching Bad Santa 2 8 hours straight, sweating
That's
on the
the
couch.
movie, dude.
Yeah.
That is the movie for people who have substance abuse problems. to
Was
just
there a Bad
binge.
Santa too?
He's never done heroin.
Never done
He's
it.
Never
Wait, but
done
with
heroin.
Billy
That's a
Bob
good point.
Thornton?
Yeah, he's Bad
Okay.
Santa, of course.
He's back.
He was in the second one. When did the second one come out?
Are you excited about Bad Santa 2?
Well, Bad Santa 1 was a huge success.
Yeah.
I didn't
Well, that's
know
why they
Bad
made
Santa
2.
2 came out.
Yeah. If you're like slamming H, then you will love Bad
You
Santa.
love
2.
Bad Santa because you're like he's just like me. I'm like that guy. In your
Yeah.
mind, you're Billy. That movie is actually art in a way because it shows what people who are on opioids think they're being like, which is like a swarthy, fucked up but kind of like cool and interesting guy who's moving through the world and is still like kind of a lovable. And then you see them and it's like, oh no, you've been on the ground for hours.
Yeah. The one thing you need to learn about not taking care of yourself with drugs, it's never actually endearing.
No, there's
You were-
nothing.
yeah.
There's nothing really sexy about
Yeah.
it.
You're never the Lou Reed main character. You are always Bad Santa
There are
2.
sexy people who do drugs, and there's
There
a lot of sexy people that are like they go toward like they're into drugs. In fact, I kind of even there was a girl that I was seeing where I went into her room for the first time, and there was a plate of meth in the room,
Like crushed up powdered meth.
but on a plate, like a nice plate, which
How
is
do
why
you leave meth?
What was
just kind of out. In
How
the
do you
open.
have extra meth? Isn't that crazy?
She said this is the
so
sexy thing.
she snorted meth.
This was the sexy thing is she tried it and she didn't like it a lot. So it was the same amount of meth. Like the plate wasn't moved for like a while.
She was a first time meth user.
She was giving it a shot.
But not a shot, but she was snorting it.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Okay.
No, colloquially she was giving it a shot,
Gotcha.
which I guess does the language gets
was
smuggled.
she
All right,
smoking
cool
it?
meth guy.
No, I'm just wondering. Snorting is a way lesser effect than smoking it, and smoking it is a way lesser effect than shooting
I didn't
it.
ask.
How'd you do meth?
I have only smoked meth in 3 different nights. Never again.
3
I
crazy
haven't
nights.
smoked meth.
Oh, wait, you've only done meth 3 times?
3 different nights, but like many times.
Nah, you're capping.
But the last
I
time I
thought
did
that you
it
were, like,
was
for real-
Halloween 2016.
I thought you were like for real into meth.
No.
I thought you had like a meth problem.
No. That's why I would like to think like this will get into what I want to talk about, but like some people, if they try meth, like they can't stop. Like I did meth 3 different nights and I was like, oh, I don't know anyone else that I respect who's actively using meth. I'm done. And then I just stopped.
It's funny that it took 3 nights
Hey,
for you to be like,
I
I don't know
mean-
if I've ever met anyone on meth that
Well,
is
first time I didn't know
cool.
I was doing it. Second time I was drunk as fuck. Third time I used sunscreen as lube.
Oh,
And then I went straight to work.
Were you up the entire 3 nights? Like, was that?
This is like 3 nights over 2 years.
The sunscreen as lube is so much more concerning to me than the meth.
But when you're on meth, you don't.
Did it sting?
No.
And also, I got syphilis, and my dick was bleeding.
Dude,
where I was
that's
like,
so...
this is not good.
You packed in a lifetime in those 3 nights.
Yeah, I was going to say, you did like all the meth stuff and it only took 3 times.
Right, which I'm thankful for. I mean, I was 21 and 22.
Yeah.
Wow.
But I'm so glad. I'm so glad that I did that and that I was able to be like, I got the worst of the fucking worst to know that like this isn't something that I want to do or be a part of.
I've had that experience. I get it. I'm 22. Should
Have
I
you
do meth?
done meth?
No, I haven't done meth, but like I've never done actual Xanax, but I've done pressed fake Xanax twice.
What?
And the
Yeah,
second...
Cooper had a string of doing
That's fine.
fake
Like
Xanax.
No, it was 2 nights.
Yeah,
it
but
was
that's
it. Yeah.
for fake Xanax, that is a string.
Yeah, the second night,
Xanax is like a helpful drug.
Do not say that. Do not say Xanax is helpful. Come on.
I've never abused
Bad
it.
Santa 2, dude. Well, you
Santa-
obviously don't have like natural addictive tendencies if you like beat meth. But
Well,
what I'm
that's
saying is
that's what I wanted to talk about.
like the second night I did like press Xanax, I had also drank, which is the golden rule is you don't do that. And then it was so funny because my friend hit me up. He's like, do you want to go out to this restaurant? And I was like, totally. And then I went upstairs, I changed, I sat on my bed, and then I woke up the next morning in the same spot. And I like the exact same spot. And I called him and I was like, dude, I'm so sorry. I fell asleep. Like, you must have come to my house and waited forever and I didn't come out. And then he goes, what are you talking about?
Oh my God.
And I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, exactly.
No, but you're like, no, you went out for 12 hours.
Yeah, and he was like, dude, we went out. And I was like, really? He's like, yeah, man, you had a really good time. And I was like, did I drink? He was like, yeah. And I was like, I could have died. And, we went to
He's we went to 7-Eleven and you killed someone.
Right.
No, we went to like a German brew house. And he literally was like, no, you were like really funny too. He was like, you were a really good
That's
hang.
not what you want to hear.
Isn't
when
that
you black out.
scary though because you don't remember it?
Oh, it's so scary. And I was pissed off because I've been wanting to go to this restaurant. And I guess I had like a quail sausage. I don't even remember it. But it was funny because apparently on the ride there or back, one of my friends was like, are you good right now? And I was like, I'm on Xanax. And then everyone was like, what the fuck, man? Because Xanax is one of those drugs that like if you have good friends, they're like, God damn it.
Yeah.
Like, this sucks that you're on Xanax right now.
That was
like,
me, dude. That was one of the few, because you know me, dude. When it comes to Cooper, I let the dogs run. For the most part,
you do. When
I
you
let
are
the
like,
dogs run.
when you are disappointed, I'm like, all right.
And that's I reserve my ability to rein in the dog.
And I appreciate that.
To rein the dog.
Yeah.
I do it from time to time when you're about to hit somebody in your car semi-purposely.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
I rein the dog then.
30%.
When I heard that you were doing fake Xanax.
Bathtub Xanax.
If you told me you were, I would let that go if it was real and legit, that it was from like a doctor. I'd let that go for a little bit.
No, this is from a comic who had to move back home. Is where the Xanax.
Have you done Xanax before?
No.
I do have times though where I'll tell you about shit I did, and I'm like, Dan's gonna be disappointed. But sometimes I'll tell you not because I want you to take on that baggage, because almost like in a similar like therapist way where I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna let Dan know about.
I
this.
know that you're always gonna tell me.
It's like I'm glad you're honest with me,
and I'm glad you're honest with me.
But yeah, I haven't done Xanax.
I would
since.
feel-
I'm bad at doing drugs.
I hope
I've accepted
you're-
that. I'm bad at it.
Matt, you were saying that
sorry.
you've
No,
been
no.
struggling with weed addiction.
Yeah, I also just want to say the only 3 times that I've blacked out is once when I did Klonopin and drank.
Mm-hmm.
Do not remember.
Always drinking.
Woke up, and once the 2 times that I took Xanax and drank, I blacked. Same thing.
Yeah.
I woke up the next day, had no idea what happened, and woke up to a plethora of like, oh my God, last night was so fun, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And it's terrifying. It's really,
Yeah.
I don't know what happened those nights.
You don't realize you can die the first time. You don't need to be on a year-long
So
like,
scary.
streak of ruining your life. You can just be like me and just be like a fucking idiot and then just die.
So I did dry January, and the
Congrats.
only time I drank was on my birthday, January 16th.
Oh, well, then you did.
Same birthday as Twigs and Aaliyah and Sade.
Capricorn.
And Capricorn, Kate Moss too. It's a great birthday.
Mm-hmm.
I drank that day, and it was fun. I didn't get super drunk. I got kind of buzzed. I went to Korean barbecue with some friends. And then, but I've been smoking weed every night for probably 3 months now.
How many grams a day?
Grams.
Bitch.
Bitch.
Loser.
Bitch.
No. That's the thing, though. Like, so I was in like AA for like 2 periods of 12 months, basically.
Okay. That's the AA. That's the AA every single time you share.
Whenever I go up. Well, yeah, that's when I share because I'm so funny. And
dunked. You won that one. You won.
But
you won. Good job.
Both times that I ended up going to AA and like getting invested and doing the steps and getting a sponsor, ultimately it was because I could not stop smoking weed and it was ruining my life.
Yeah.
Wow.
And doing weed, like, it would make me super anxious, and then I would get drunk to stop being anxious, and then I would do coke to stop being drunk.
Wow.
And it was horrible, and I wasn't doing anything with my life. I was living in shame and I wasn't being productive. So I was like, I'm either going to kill myself, move to Austin like Dylan Sullivan, or join AA. And I decided.
Let's just say Dylan moved for a good opportunity.
Oh, no. I just meant like
it
seemed like fun to hang out with Dylan Sullivan.
Okay.
I was just like, I'm either going to change my environment.
Yeah, no, I see what you mean.
Sorry, that was a shout out to like, it would be fun to be in Austin with Dylan.
Yeah.
I texted him about it. Yeah. Anyways, the last 3 months I've been smoking weed every night. I noticed that I've been less productive and I'm a lot more lethargic.
Yeah.
And so I was like, I stopped drinking for January. That was good. And I'm just checking on myself because I don't know, like when you're in those programs, there's sometimes a feeling that you're being gaslit, which those programs are invaluable. I really am glad that I did them. But when you're in them, I'll be like, I don't really know if I'm an addict or if I just needed to take time away. And then everyone will be like, well, only an addict would ask that question.
Yeah, totally.
And you're like, I don't know. Like I'm genuinely like not sure. Like everyone has their own path. So I decided to do no weed for February. It's 2 days in. Last night, I guess, was technically February 1st, and I smoked weed.
Oh, no. You couldn't make it past 24 hours.
I will say I had an incredibly stressful past, 3 days. I just had to do a ton of shit for work. I had to drive I had to do some weird project where I drove to Joshua Tree, drove back in the same day, then had to drive to Santa Barbara, drove back. I was just exhausted, and all I wanted to do was watch TV and smoke weed. But it's just like something interesting that I'm catching myself on, and I think it's fun to process it and be open about it because it is a thing.
Yeah.
And I noticed that it's negative. I smoked weed last night. And today it was so hard for me to get out of bed. Also, one thing that I would say as far as progress goes, like when I was back in like addiction, I would smoke all the time and it would suck. I couldn't focus. I couldn't be happy. I couldn't be productive. Yeah. Now, progress, I only ever smoke before I go to bed.
Yeah.
So in the last 3 months that I've been smoking weed, I only ever smoke after 9 p.m. I'm not going to do anything except go to bed.
Weed's all about
and I do
timing.
that, but it's still it still affects me throughout the day. Today I felt myself feeling it was hard for me to get out of bed.
Yeah.
So whatever, I don't know. That's something interesting that I'm processing and figuring out. And I'm like, oh, weed is kind of it's fun in moderation, but I don't know if I'm able to do it in moderation.
The swing goes too far because people were so crazy about trying to loop weed in with other drugs like coke and heroin and stuff that when you grow up and you realize oh, it's such a different thing.
Yeah.
Then it's the pendulum always swings. That's why overcorrection is so stupid because all you're doing is loading up this fucking pendulum, and it's if you're not right down the middle and being honest about shit, it's always gonna come fucking back. I think we are in a way experiencing that where it's there is no way you can really equate weed to hard drugs or whatever, but it's still a fucking substance, and it's a pretty strong one at that. It's
so strong now.
It's a strong fucking substance, and it's maybe physical dependence. I know it's not physical dependence building. Or
people,
whatever.
that's I feel that is the big common misconception is that everyone's weed isn't addictive, and
what does that mean though?
It's
I don't get what that means.
Stupidest thing to say. Here's why it's
people
stupid.
do get addicted to weed. I would say that I am addicted to weed. Last night when I was like I have to smoke weed. Yeah. It's I had told myself I'm not doing that, and I did it. And I have a lot of self-control as far as things go. I've committed to a lot of different things that I do.
Right.
But last night I was fuck it. It's here. I'm smoking it.
Well, that's what's stupid about the weed is not addictive argument, because I have close to 6 to 8 people in my immediate and then somewhat extended family that are all addicts and have had major problems with addiction. So I have the perfect Irish addiction genes.
Yeah.
Coming at me from both sides.
Oh yeah.
So when you have that tendency, you can get addicted to shit. So it's so annoying. People are like, well, weed's not addictive. And it's I had a solid, I go in and out of weed, but I had a solid month and a half where I was smoking about a gram to 2 grams a day, because I would just smoke joints in the morning,
That's
one in the middle of the day. And then I would just smoke all the time. And, it doesn't ruin.
A gram to 2 grams a day?
Yeah.
That's a lot.
Yeah, but it's easy if you're smoking joints. And the problem is it's but it's fucking annoying because then Bob Marley's smoke a joint in the morning, smoking it. But if you're smoking 27% weed multiple times a day, then you leave your house and you're oh, I don't want to talk to people.
Well, that's the issue is there are these narratives and literally song it's people will go to Snoop Dogg and be Snoop Dogg smoking all the time, and they'll listen to a Bob Marley song. And the issue is that doesn't affect any person's brain that's not stupid, but so many people are.
Yeah, you also have to remember Snoop Dogg is an amazingly hard worker. You know what I mean?
Oh,
It's
yeah.
it's people are people actually think that weed is a superpower and that Snoop Dogg's success is almost attributed to weed.
Yeah, literally.
But it's no, Snoop Dogg is an extremely hardworking, dedicated person, and weed does not really bog him down.
I mean,
Right.
I think it all goes back to the basic principle that everyone is very different, because for instance, I smoked meth because it was available to me, and that was what was offered to me when I first came out to LA and was going to these weird. My cat's whining. I'm sorry. It's adding texture to the podcast. But then I thought oh, no one in my life that I respect smokes weed, so I'm not going to smoke weed. So I was doing it based on other people. But then I was oh, people in my life that I respect get drunk a lot, so I should be able to get drunk. People in my life that I respect who are successful do coke every now and then, so I should be able to do coke. It doesn't work like that. Coke is not good for me. I cannot operate. I'm dead for the next 3 days. I know some people who are super hardworking, very successful people who can do coke and be fine.
Fuck them.
It's not me.
Fuck you.
But
Get after it.
if you can do that, fuck you.
The
Because you tricked me.
biggest example of that
You
is
tricked Cooper.
You tricked me.
Cooper thinks he's like you, but he's not.
I cannot handle any drug.
He gets mad.
I literally am going to have to be stone cold sober probably within the next 6 years.
100%.
It doesn't
Yeah,
ruin my
that's
life,
gonna
but
happen.
I'm so bad at doing
You're
drugs.
really bad at it.
I'm horrible at it.
Yeah, it's really
Are
bad.
you bad
Absolutely.
with drinking too?
Oh, of course.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
Did he get wasted at Will Sennett's birthday party?
Me?
Him.
Oh.
I didn't get wasted.
Oh,
No,
okay.
we didn't get
I was
Yeah,
just
no, I didn't
asking.
get wasted.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, maybe you're fine.
No.
Well, anyways, that being said,
I
it's
let the
like
good times roll. That's
you
the
see
problem.
people who smoke weed all the. Ellery Smith, who I'm obsessed with, she smokes all the time, and she's very hardworking,
Sure.
very successful, if you will, and whatever. I look up to Ellery, and I'm oh, if she can do it, I should be able to smoke weed. I have 3 hits of weed. I'm stoned out of my mind. The fact that you smoke grams of weed, I can't even comprehend that. I have 3 hits, and I'm dead.
Yeah, I mean, even when I grow a tolerance to it, I'm just worse at shit.
But it's just the idea is that Matt, what works for you individually? The reason I stopped going to AA was because I didn't think drinking was really a problem in my life anymore. And I realized I kept going to meetings because I didn't want to disappoint my sponsor. And then I was oh, I'm making the same mistake. The reason I got into program was for living for other people. Now I'm living for people in program. And I was I have to do my own thing.
Yeah, that's a weird
Does that
thing
make sense?
No, yeah, it is a weird thing about AA where it's there is a somewhat necessary cult mentality where it's they kind of have to break you down enough because especially there's always the biggest thing. I remember when my dad was off the wagon, I walked in and there was Jägermeister, and he had been sober for longer than I'd been alive.
God.
But then he was back on it, and he was well, yeah, the reason I drink Jägermeister is you don't have to drink that much, and then, you get a little buzz. And I'm that's the most alcoholic shit I've ever heard. But alcoholics do that thing where they're well, I do this and I manage that. And it's so part of AA is kind of being you're dumb as shit, and you got to realize it to get fixed. But that's also a bit of a bit of a weird thing because it's like you have to like give yourself to sobriety, but then some people struggle with that because it's like
right. You have to give yourself to sobriety because you're not doing a good enough job giving yourself to yourself.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, you're not the best thing to give yourself to at that moment. But also, it is tough for people because it's like so much of. I think getting sober is like telling yourself that you're kind of wrong. And in a lot of ways you are wrong because it's like, yeah, you're bad at drinking. You got to accept that. But you're also not like a dumb sack of shit who needs like a fucking adult to be like, I'm calling you today to make sure you're not dead. You know, like there's an extent to which it works and doesn't.
It's a really fine line, and I do not have the answers. And I will say that my time in those programs is invaluable, and I'm very thankful I did them. I needed to do them.
Yeah.
Right. And who knows, maybe I'll be Lord willing. This is why I was like, I need to do a month without it because I would like to not have to go back to those rooms, but I need to fucking check my ass.
Right. Yeah, maybe I should
be productive.
I should be a sponsor for people.
You should get sponsored. I
should be a non-sober sponsor for people,
and I should start working out outside of the AAs.
Yeah, that's what you should do.
I should work out in front of AA.
But if you're like a 43-year-old man who's like relapsing, you can just call me and I'll just be like, listen, man, I'm off 4 beers and I'm being rude right now.
I feel rude as hell.
Do you want to be like me?
I just yelled at my own boss and then hit myself in the face for doing it.
Yeah. Like I'm drunk as shit going live on TikTok. Do you want to be like me?
And then he's like, I'm staying on the wagon.
Yeah, exactly. He's like, all right, That's
what they should do, dude. Bring that guy to an after hours bar to watch you fail at getting coke.
Yeah, watch me pretend to be cool. It's really hard to fail there, but watch me pretend to be cool for 4 hours and just be like, yeah, this shit is not sick.
You're like, dude, if you continue the path that you're going down, you're going to have a commercial agent and a manager and work at the #1 comedy club by 22.
I don't have a manager. I said no.
You said no.
He was trying to take my bag.
He was trying to take the whole bag of Cooper.
You will not take. If you're watching this and you want me to sign a contract,
fuck
you.
Tell him.
Fuck you. I'm not signing a contract.
God, I'm fired up off this.
God, fuck!
Unless you're Mary-Kate and Ashley Olsen,
if you're Mary-Kate and Ashley Olsen, call Cooper now.
Oh God, would I would.
You have to be if you happen to be Mary-Kate or Ashley Olsen.
No, it needs to be both. Mary-Kate or Ashley, don't call me. Mary-Kate and Ashley.
Call on a party line.
I want to be addicted to cigarettes because of Mary-Kate and Ashley Olsen.
They look sick doing it.
They're in charge of the row, which is like the peak of fashion. I don't know if you know what the row is. They're in charge of fashion right now, and they smoke cigarettes like it's like oxygen, and it's so hot.
I mean, cigs are great for fashion. The problem is like the reason like I'm off cigarettes right now is it gets really embarrassing when it catches up to you because smoking. Like cigarettes, undeniably, the problem with them is they're one of the coolest things ever made. They're one of the coolest things ever made. They feel great because you can, like, the reason I started smoking more weed is because I couldn't smoke cigarettes. But the problem is, then you have one of those days where you're like, ugh, and you're like, oh, this isn't hot. You know what I mean? Like, this isn't Parisian anymore.
Right.
Like, I'm not. That's why I'm always surprised at all these, like, Europeans that are, like, just smoking all the time. And it's like, so when you guys, like, cough up a bunch of gross shit, are you just like, that's how it goes?
Well, they can go to the hospital whenever they want.
Yeah, fuck, that's why. Yeah, you can't smoke in America.
They have free healthcare.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. If you live in fucking Berlin, you should smoke.
Yeah, if you're 14 in Berlin, you should smoke.
Don't say no. To our listeners in Berlin, disregard that.
Yeah.
That is not the official stance of Sissy Boys Podcast.
To all our beautiful 14-year-old Berlin boy. What if we looked at the metrics and it was like we had great listenership? It was like 40,000 people, and then we checked and it was all 13 to 14-year-old boys in Berlin.
I'd feel really so honored.
I'd be honored too.
I would be like, hey guys, I want you to live your best lives possible.
Right.
I would be a better person if that was the
right.
I would want to live my best life to be like a father.
Do you realize how nervous we would be recording?
Oh yeah, dude. Though? Oh man. I don't know if I like Angela Merkel or don't, but whatever you guys feel, that's how I feel.
Matt would say meth, and we'd be like, shut up, don't stop, don't listen, shut up.
They'll learn about that when they're old enough to go to Bergheim.
Yeah. Rodolphe, don't listen.
Good reference.
Yeah. Thanks, buddy.
But also, if you're 13 or 14 in Berlin, you probably have better drug education. Than
definitely.
29.
They're listening to us like we're so stupid.
Yeah.
They're also better at gay
They're like,
sex.
I
than
learned
you.
that when I was 7 years old.
They know know way more about having anal sex than you do.
I'm not even gay, but I learned about anal when I'm
I know
4.
everything about that. You shouldn't use sunscreen.
Sunscreen is the worst lubricant.
Okay, let's do gay straight pan, and then we'll do our shout outs for the subscribers.
The GSP.
Okay.
The GSP. So Matt, something gay?
Oh, I had something really good. Oh, I went to Dan's apartment and I cleaned it. I rearranged your furniture. That was super gay.
That was pretty gay.
And
oh my god, that was so gay.
Right?
That was awesome.
Well, also gay and straight.
yes, that's my straight thing.
Dan trained me. We did a trade-off. Dan,
Yes.
well, you can talk more about your side of it.
No,
but I
please.
got trained by Dan, and I'm so bad at basketball. And
You're not good at basketball?
tell them about that. But then
Wait.
I went to Dan's apartment, and in exchange for him training me to be strong, I
Mentally.
rearranged his apartment, which I want to catch up with you on. And it was my favorite thing ever. And then he was like, okay, you did enough. You can leave. And I was like, but let me deep clean your kitchen. He was like, please leave.
No. That's not true. No. I started feeling bad because I felt like I was getting more than I gave with the training.
Oh, don't feel bad. It's like pleasure for me.
I know that you like it.
I would
know that
rather
now.
clean your kitchen than
So-
ejaculate.
So,
But how's your apartment doing?
it's great. I've kept it up.
Did
I
you
kept
get the bike?
Not yet.
Okay.
No, I kept the setup. I have a lot of expenditures. I have to buy $500 headshots, which is going to be a lot. But I am getting $1,000 for something I will talk about on the next podcast, so
Okay.
it'll even out.
Well, go ahead.
so-
is your
no.
straight thing that you want to talk about?
Yeah, I think it's that. So, yeah,
And you can talk about my bad basketball skills.
You're
Well-
not good at basketball? That blows my mind.
it's crazy.
So
Isn't it
Cooper,
crazy that he's
so
not good
for
at
fun,
basketball?
like I don't like giving people cardio where it's like on the treadmill because as a trainer, I feel like that's a waste of your money if I'm just standing there while you do cardio. So
100%.
I always try to make it something active. So it's like
I've always said
either boxing or I'll do a little drill where it's like, okay, I'm not a basketball trainer. I don't know anything about basketball, but just for fun and to keep like cardio active, I'll be like, make 5 free throws in a row. If you miss one, you have to like run a lap or whatever, and then you come back and you shoot 5. So you keep doing it until you get 5 in a row.
Yeah, it's
do
very
layups.
fun.
And Matt was not having fun.
No, actually, I really enjoyed it, but making 5 in a row for me was impossible.
We had to change it to 1.
That's
Well,
hard
We
for a
had
lot
to
of
go
people.
down to 1.
You had to go down.
If you can
How
make
long did
one
it take
in
to
a
get
row.
down to 1? Was it just each time he tried, you were like, all right,
It
what
was
about
when
4?
Matt started yelling, "Okay, I'm done now,"
Oh.
and then I was like,
Well,
we'll
you
go
brought it down
one.
to 3, which I was fine with, but I was like, just so you
Also,
know,
they weren't free throws. They were closer than free throws.
Yeah.
It was like
Yeah.
4 feet from the.
It was very close.
Sometimes being really close can almost be harder.
Cooper.
I agree with that, Cooper.
Something pan.
This is more gay than pan, but someone was like kind of homophobic to me, which is not funny enough to get into. But someone was kind of homophobic to me, and then I just started thinking about all the people in my life that love me, and
Aw.
how I don't have to be sad about people that are homophobic to me because I don't even want to hang out with them.
That's sick, dude.
That's beautiful.
Which is
it's fun when Cooper says his pan thing because it's like it could be whatever.
It
and
could
we're
be
just like,
either
That's
one,
what
yeah.
pan culture is.
Yeah, exactly.
Cooper is creating.
it's chaos is what pansexualism
Okay,
is.
so we're gonna do the shout outs. Me and Cooper are gonna go back and forth with this. Matt Meeks, who subscribed, he kicked your ass 2 weeks ago.
Matt Meeks, you can fuck me.
Um,
Thanks for subscribing.
let's see who else here. We got Kevin Weaver.
Kevin Weaver.
Kevin Weaver, you can fuck me.
Kevin
Thanks
Weaver,
for subscribing.
You can fuck Cooper.
You can fuck me on this table on video on the next podcast.
Danielle Hernandez. You got anything for Danielle Hernandez?
You can fuck me.
Danielle, you hear that? Sa ra ra ra.
Sa ra ra ra. You can fuck me.
You can do it.
You
Even
go,
with all those
Gaga.
syllables.
Fuck me,
You go gaga.
And then Zachariah the witch.
Zach. You can fuck.
You know, Zach. You already know.
Come on. You're a witch.
All right. If you subscribe, you get a shout out on the podcast. All right. So just comment on the video that you subscribe. You'll get a little shout out like that. We're trying to get to 1,000 because then we can actually start making money off this.
A bag.
Bag it up.
We would like
It
one.
would be so cool if we made money.
Yeah, it'd be cool. We're gonna get sponsored by sunscreen.
And maybe if we get enough fans, we could do a tour and come to a town near
Oh, that
near
would be
you.
great.
Yeah, that'd be
That'd be
cool.
Wouldn't it?
fun. We're
Hey,
all really
everyone
funny
viewing, wouldn't it
and
be
good at
nice if
stand-up.
that could happen?
If that could happen.
Hey, wouldn't it be nice if that could happen? Yeah, maybe fucking do something
Mary
about
Kay
it.
and Ashley, get us on your show.
We're coming.